The following is the extract of a course linked in the description.
Alright guys, thank you for joining me on this new video. This is Krishna. In this new video, we're gonna spend a little bit more time learning about the piano roll. And the piano roll is probably in FL Studio is probably the best piano roll out there as far as all the DAWs combined. The way FL Studio actually approached it is just really seamless. It works really well, right? So in order for us to do that, to learn a little bit more about the piano roll, I'm gonna start with a melody that I've made for another song of mine, and we're gonna use that to learn about the piano roll. So to make that melody, I'm gonna go ahead and look for an instrument. I kind of already know which instrument I'm gonna be using, so click over here plus more plugins, and I think I'm gonna go with the Jupiter over here, Jup 8, and this is a plugin from Arturia. Okay. And what I'm gonna do, I believe I need a string, and I'm gonna go with that lo-fi over here. Okay, so I'm gonna compose that. So the way it's gonna go is gonna be this chord over here, this one. So just those three. So we're gonna make this a little bit of a drill kind of sound. So it goes like this, and that's pretty much it, right? And because I made that song, I know that the BPM for it is about 140 over here. So most of the time, what I usually recommend, especially for the piano roll, so to open the piano roll, we just come up here, right click on one of the channel over here and click on piano roll. You're gonna find a lot of people online that's gonna come up here and actually enter their notes like this one by one by clicking on the canvas here. It's not wrong, right? I used to do it. This is where I started, but for me, I just find that it's way easier for me to just have a MIDI controller, enter the melody there, or play with some patterns on the melody, and when I'm ready, I just click on record and just record it at once. Okay, so for now, I'm just gonna delete that, and we're gonna see everything. And when I'm playing with the MIDI controller, with some patterns on my MIDI controller, I'm gonna figure out a little bit what's gonna be the BPM. So once I have some type of melody that I'm playing here, right? And then I'm gonna try to figure, okay, the melody I'm playing, in which BPM, I am in. So once I figure that out, so for the one that we have here, it is at 140. All right, so now we're ready to record. We're just gonna come, we have our um, sounds already selected over here and our plugin, right? So the next thing that we just need to do is now just to record. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So that's pretty much it, right? So I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna click on this, and this is where I have my pattern playing, right? So if we listen to it again. So there is some things that are a little bit off, and that's totally okay, right? That's totally okay. Usually that's where I get as well, and we just need to tweak it now. This is where the options in the piano roll here are gonna help us. So with the piano roll, when we come up here, you're gonna find you have like a bigger menu over here. Um, I usually don't spend a lot of time here. I would just recommend for you to come up here and maybe someday just experiment. You're not gonna break anything, really, right? But for the piano roll, all the ones that you're gonna be using 99% of the time, everything is gonna be up here for you, right? There might be that occasional 1% where you actually need to come up here in the menu and change something, but 99% of the time everything is going to be up here. So we're just going to go to from left to right and trying to see how we can play with what we have here. Okay, so the first one over here we have this wrench, and over here we have this magnet. Both of them I usually use them at the same time. So first of all, with the magnet here, the magnet is gonna set the quantization of your canvas, right? So this over here is our canvas, right? That's the way I call it. So with that, when we set the quantization just really means what is the length of the smallest knot that you're gonna have on your canvas if we set to convert the quantization here. So let's start over here with the bar. So this is the bar, go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 bars, right? And usually this is the measure for pop music, a lot of the cultural music, popular music right now. This is the way they go is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So with that, if I come up here and I try to press it, so right now it's not respecting the quantization. Usually the way I do it is I'm gonna press shift, and you see over here shift is enabled, and when I'm gonna select it here, now it's gonna put the knot, but it's also gonna respect the quantization along at the same time. So when I'm doing that, you're gonna see that now I'm trying to make it smaller. I can't do that, but I can make it longer, but I cannot make it smaller. Same thing if I come up here and I change it to a bit, right? If I click here, it's gonna remember the length of the last node that I had, but I don't want it to meet a bar, right? I want it to be I want it to be a bit. So I'm just gonna click again shift, and I'm gonna click up here, and now it is a bit now. So if I'm trying to make it smaller, it doesn't let me do that, but I can make it a lot longer, right? And just last example, we're gonna come up here, we're gonna go to quarter bit, and you see as well your canvas over here is letting you know a little bit where your note is gonna be. So again, I'm just gonna click over here with shift, and it's letting me know this is gonna be the smallest note, and this is what we have. Okay, so that's the quantization. So a lot of the time you might maybe put some things over here. So let's say that we're gonna have it over here at bars, right? And when I recorded that, it didn't really respect the quantization that I had over here. I can come up here and I can say quick quantize, and you're gonna see it's gonna move everything to try to be where the quantization is, right? But that's not what we want over here, but that was basically what I wanted to show you. I'm gonna go basically to step over here, right? So in my case, it's respecting a little bit of quantization, but it is a little bit off, but we're gonna get there. Okay, so usually those two kind of go together. So we have this one over here. The main thing that you need to keep in mind sometimes as well, at the top here you see main. If you select this, it's gonna follow whatever you're selecting in the main quantization here. So if this is bar, you see now it is switching over here for everything, right? But usually this one I just leave it be, and I just use the one over here, and I just use that one. I have a little bit more flexibility because sometimes I'm going to have the piano roll. I'm going to have a different type of quantization, and it can change, right? Sometimes I'm going to be in third, sometimes I'm going to be in steps, sometimes I'm going to be in bar. So it really depends. And over here, I'm also going to have a different type of quantization in the playlist, but we're going to get there. So let's come back here. So this is what we have the quantization, and over here usually, so when I have the range, I'm going to come up here quick quantize. Usually when you click on quick quantize over here, it follow the quantization that you set over here, but you could come up here and select quantize, and over here you could have a little bit more um, a little bit more control of how you want that quantization to be applied. And you also have the possibility to import some groove, some templates over here, right? Usually I don't usually do that. I just select the one quick quantize over here to follow what I set over here. And as well, you're gonna see there is some shortcuts, right, that you can also memorize, but I just don't. Just too much to remember, right? Okay, so let's keep moving forward, so over here we have the stamp, and this one you're gonna use it. It already provides you over here with a lot of chords and scales that you can use. So over here, if we wanna, maybe we wanna have something set for a major, we just come up here and this over here, let's say this over here is C. So a major chord is gonna be C, E, G, right? So if we come up here, we just click on C. This is what we're gonna have over here. C, E, G right away is gonna put it up here. He's gonna put it here for us. This one though, I don't really use it mostly because the issue that I have with that is if I just want to edit just one of those notes, I'm not able to do it. Everything is just working as a group and it just messes me up. Even if I want to delete just one of those notes over here, I can't do it because as I delete one, everything just disappear. Maybe that's the way you want it, right? So if that's the case, then you have it here. But most of the time, I just come up here myself and I'm gonna set it just over here, and G should be over here. Okay. With the loop off over here, I haven't really used it. I know it works a little bit in tandem with what we have with the channel rack over here. So most of the time, the way it works is you're gonna have part of the channel rack that's gonna be, how can I explain it? Let me set something over here. So you see over here, this over here is going for basically 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. But over here, in my case over here, when I just put the kick over here, is this is just it's just supposed to be 1 bar. But if I put the loop, it's gonna repeat it for 4 bars over here. I don't need to put it myself. It's a little bit of some ghost notes. It's gonna repeat it here. So when I play it, you're gonna see that it does repeat it, but most of the time I don't use that. So we're just gonna delete that. But it's there for you if you need it. The next one that we have is the pencil or the draw over here that we have. I just call it the pencil tool. So with that one, basically this is gonna be the one that you're gonna be using the most in the piano roll. It allows you to draw individual notes, right? But as well you can move it, right? And you can as well, if you double click on it, this is where you can come and have some other options that we're gonna look at. But this pencil tool over here, it also has some modifiers keys over here. So if you just use it simply, right? If I just use it simply over here, I'm adding notes. I can move it just by dragging, right? If I right click, I'm going to be able to delete whatever I just added there, right? If I add it with the command key, what that does now, I'm able to select it, right? And with the shift key, like I showed you, is when I add it, it actually adds the keynote over here that match the quantization that we have. You also have another shortcut that is with control on Mac, and that one basically act as a delete as well. Okay, so that's the one that this one you're going to be using it basically all the time. It allows you to add the notes over here, but it allows you as well to come at the bottom here and change some of the information for panning over here or velocity and all those things. Okay, so let's move forward. The next one over here is the pen, or I like to call it the brush. I think before, way before, they were maybe calling it the brush. I can't remember, but yeah. So basically, this is the one. It acts a little bit like the draw, but this one has a repeat effect. So I'm gonna come up here. You're gonna see that it does repeat the last note that I just entered, and I can also have the possibility to stretch them. So let me delete those. Again, I'm just right clicking and I'm just going over there. So if I come up here, I'm gonna try to have the smallest one, and now it's gonna repeat the smallest note that I have over here. Okay, so this is what we have for that pen. For this one, I don't really use it. It seems to be a little bit of the same feature. I'm really not sure what is really the main difference, but again, I don't really use it. Either I use a draw or either I use the brush over here. It seems to be related to drum sequencing, but you know, I don't usually use it over here. This one we have a delete, so when we're able to add it over here, like I told you, if you right click, you're gonna see over there it does act. There is something that shows up that's a little bit like orange now, but if you don't have the right click or you don't want to right click, this is where you're gonna go. You're just gonna select it, delete, and now everything that you do now, whether you right click or left click, is all delete now, right? So this is what we have. But usually if you just on the draw tool over here, you can use just from the draw tool, you can access it by right clicking. The other one that we have over here, this is to mute. So you're gonna see that right now those notes over here are actually playing. So if I play those, but if I come up here and I click on them, or some of them, now some of them are gonna be muted. So you're not gonna hear it, but they're still there. I have not deleted, but they're still there. They just muted. So right, and let's do the inverse. Right. So this is muted over here. The next one that we have over here, this is a cut tool, scissor, how do they call it, slice, right? So that's going to allow you sometimes when you're working with some of the keynotes over here, it might go a little bit over, right? So this is where you can say, you know what, I don't want the last part that is here, and this is where you're gonna come. You just click here and you just select the part that you want to erase or you want to cut. You're just gonna come up here. Now I want to delete the last stems that are here, and now I just have deleted that. Okay, so this is what we have with the slice. The next one that we have over here, this just basically allows you to select. All right, and again, for a little bit more of a quick workflow, if you're on draw, if you select command and you drag and you just drag over here, it just basically has the same behavior than coming up here. The reason why I think it's really important to know at least the modifier keys for the draw tool over here is it saves you time, because if let's say you just want to select this, you need to come up here and maybe you wanted to move it, because right now I cannot move it, so I need to come back here. Now I want to move it here. It takes too much time, right? From here I'm just on one tool, I just select this, I can move it here and deselect. I'm good to go. Okay, so this is the select over here. This one is zooming, pretty easy, right? And most of the time I just use what I have at the top here and just extend it like this to see a little bit more of the canvas or not. Sometimes as well you're gonna see at the top here you have the possibility of doing that, right? And over here, I believe there was something, there is a key but I forgot which one is it, to zoom it from here. There's another key but I forget which one is it. So this is what we have, and the last two that we have over here, this one just lets you play whatever. So you see over here there is a line, and all the notes that fall under that line it's gonna play if I press, if I come up here. So if you just want to listen to whatever notes are playing at the moment, this is what you're going to use. This one basically just do the same thing as playing, uh, pushing play over here on the pattern. It's just going to play that pattern for us. Okay, so now that we have basically seen all the options that we have over here at the top end, I would just say play one more time, play around with the tools that we have there, and you should be really familiar with it after some time. Now we're just gonna go ahead and try now to edit the option that we have here, right? So the way that we're gonna play that song is over here. I know those two should be on the second so we have the first beat over here, second beat on the third beat over here. This is where we're gonna have this one. So I'm gonna press command, I'm gonna drag so I can select those two, and I'm just gonna move them here so they start over here on that third bit over here. So this one as well, for those two, I want them to last a little bit longer. So I'm gonna come up here, and now I can select both of them, and I'm gonna say come up here and last a little bit longer. Last thing that I'm gonna do for the ones for the notes that are here, I'm actually gonna extend them up to the end over here, and the one that we have over here as well, I'm just gonna say extend to the end over here. So when we're gonna play it now, but I'm just realizing there is one note that should have been here that I don't see anymore, and I believe it was the E that I was supposed to have over here. Um, okay, so basically this is the base of this melody over here. What we can do is from now we can add additional notes over here. So maybe we have F. So we have F. So we can add. I can add a note over here, but let's say I don't want this note to be too strong, right? This is where I can come up here. I can just double click on that one. I'm going to say you're going to play here, but I don't want you to overpower the other note. You're just going to come and add some flavor. So this is where I'm just going to say, you know what, I'm going to drop the velocity just for that note, right? So let's listen to it. And I can do the same a little bit for the A that is here. Just make sure that I have it a little bit down over here, just like that. Today it did not save. One good way of knowing what is the velocity is you see over here on the knot, you actually have a bar over here at the bottom that's a little bit darker. That gives you uh, an idea of what the velocity is. So in this one over here, you see it's all the way down over here. If I click on it, you're gonna see it's really low. So this one I actually want to bring up a little bit more, and it's now here. So and actually those two notes I don't think they works well, so I'm just gonna mute them. So I'm just gonna leave it like that. So basically this is the basis of the piano roll. The goal now for you is really to go ahead and to play around a lot more with it. There is a lot of options here that you can have, but the main one, the majority of what you're going to be using 99% of the time is going to be up here at the top here, right? So let's leave it here, and we're going to continue in another video. Guys, if you enjoy the content, share, like, and subscribe to the channel. I also wanted to let you know about my free mastering mini course that's going to be available there in the description. You're also going to get with that free banger drums kit, right, with some crazy samples. Basically you're going to be able to make some crazy drum patterns. Okay, so the link is going to be in the description. It's going to let you know how you're going to have access to it, and I will talk to you in another video.